Hello and welcome back to an early edition of Supercoach Insider. My name is Ben.
And I'm Chris.
And thank you for joining us. A little bit of a last minute thing here. Chris decides to bugger off tomorrow and messages me saying, are we recording tonight? Because I'm away for the rest of the week.
That's what I do. I didn't really realise I was going away. I'm actually not going to be here next week either. I haven't broached that with you. I will be here later in the week. So...
Nothing like breaking the news on air, Chris.
Ooh, unlucky.
Yes, so, and thank you
like
for
we're
the...
lagging a bit on the video, so I might try and mix that up.
Thank you for those on Twitch who have been waiting around a little bit longer than the AFL news releases. But speaking of the news, Richo.
Yeah, pretty crazy today with Richo.
Yep, I was thinking this could be possible with the fact that the Saints have been losing quite poorly lately, Chris. And... so we'll get to that very shortly. But look, let's start off with the socials. Facebook.com/SC Insider. Twitter, SC_Insider_. And on Twitch, Chris?
SC_.
So twitch.tv.
Twitch.tv/SC. I'm trying to fix everything.
No, you're right, mate. So twitch.tv/SC Insider.
Yep.
And on all the platforms as well. So this week we will be on SoundCloud, Spotify, you name it. It will be there tonight. So if you're listening live now and you want to listen back to my voice, bless you. Because this is a last minute one, I rocked out this today, so you're very lucky that I wore my ugly lion sweater today. And
for those out there,
people loved it.
For those out there, you put a Facebook post about it.
I did.
Look, the guy, the first time he's been in the top 4 in like a millennia.
I was like, hey, rocking that top 3.
Literally an entire generation of people have grown up without knowing that the Brisbane Lions actually were in finals.
Rock that top 3. You gotta rock that up to.
Work that up to.
So
sponsors.
Chris, what is today sponsored by, Chris?
Today is sponsored by Ocean View Estates. She's Gone Pale. They are a craft brew place up in Mount Mee, which is north side of Brisbane, and they are also happen to be the venue for my wedding in February.
Right.
So, welcome. This one's for you, mate.
Thank you.
This is welcome to the MC. So, thank you very much.
Well, it's kind of ironic too, Chris, because when girls see me, they do go pale.
That's true. Isn't it ironic?
On their face,
don't you think? On the line,
they go pale on the face.
I respect that. So it's actually a nice little beer.
So this is your wedding beer.
This is our wedding beer, and you'll be having more of this.
Oral anal todo juntos.
Yeah, very much so. It's actually quite nice. So this is the main beer that we're sporting on the night.
Mate,
so,
give me a dozen of them.
Yeah, they're very expensive though. That's
very good.
These are like $28 a 6-pack.
And if anyone knows if anyone can speak Spanish, then you would know what my cheers meant.
That's true.
So
another sponsor as well is my work is now doing a sponsorship with us. So they wanted me to drop a little line about Venturoof. So
no way.
Yeah.
What are they sponsoring you? Beers?
Yeah, 100%.
Do I get any of these beers or what?
I made our first really big sale this last week, and so I got a little bit of a kickback. So part of that is now I need to start sponsoring we're going to sponsor the podcast, and they're going to sponsor us for it. So it's pretty cool. But so I work for a company called Venturoof, and we specialize in roof ventilation for metal roofing. So if you're a builder, roofer, someone who gets involved with either residential or commercial builds, and you're looking for ventilation solutions, Venturoof's where it's at.
Okay. I didn't even know this was happening, but I do know for a fact that it is new technology. I think it was patented in America. So instead of the whirlybirds and that sort of stuff, the Venturoof actually helps ventilate your roof without having all the old technology bullshit whirlybirds on your roof that don't work.
Pretty much.
Is that the
That's
gist of it?
It's the alternative to whirlybirds. It's way better, and you don't have to actually penetrate your roof. And
new technology. Yeah,
it's awesome.
That's pretty much what I understand from it. I do like this beer. What anarchy this week?
Oh, mate.
Again.
Wasn't it a bad weekend?
You know what the worst part was?
The worst part was this. I was so happy Friday night, and then my Saturday went to shit, and it went to shit real early.
Friday, I was anxious. I was more anxious than if I put like 10 grand on the Pies to win.
That's true.
And we'll get into that in just a moment. But just absolute anarchy.
Yeah.
And Stonesy, mate, wherever you are, I don't know if he's in the live chat, but...
Carl's here.
Carl's here. I went...
Hey, Carl.
I had my under-16s AFL game, which was a disaster, PS. We lost by 120 points.
Yep.
A disaster. Playing some league that shouldn't even be there. Anyway, so I get back to my Facebook. The first thing I see is Stonesy's meme with Coniglio doing his knee.
It was unfortunate, wasn't it?
Not the way you want to find out.
No.
No. But anyway, so I started off the week. Josh Kelly out really messed me up a little bit, which I knew was happening.
Yep.
I traded essentially, I traded Josh. So Josh Kelly, Gorm was out, so I was like, okay, so I got rid of him.
Yep.
And then Josh Kelly was out, so I was like, well, there goes my plan. I'll just bring Gorn back in because I figured points on the ground beats then me trying to wait without him for a few weeks. So I changed that theory. I was like, okay, let's do that. I still had setters and I had Clark, so I was like, okay, so instead of I'll deal with that midfield and I'll fix that up later. Now Coniglio's out, so I'm sitting there going, right, my trades are getting not low dire yet, right? But 5 trades coming into this week. I've now got to replace Coniglio. I've still got one position on the field that I need to make up. And essentially, if I do the Coniglio trade... Ooh!
Live follower, welcome. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but Omni, whatever that is.
Look, cheers to you.
Welcome.
Salute.
Why
not? There you go. I see you licking your lips there, Chris.
It's good beer though, hey?
Oh, it's amazing.
It's decent.
It's amazing. I'll take 6. To go on top of my last dozen. Anyway, so for me, it's one of those situations that I find so many people probably in this situation. I copped the donut, which sucked for my score.
Yeah.
This week I scored 2,414. Not too bad.
Not too bad with Coniglio.
Not too bad with Coniglio. I only won half of my leagues, which I'm a bit upset about because I usually win a lot more of those. Not lately. But luckily enough, even with that 0 on my field, I slid, Chris... But I only slid to 244 overall.
That's
so
not bad.
I slid about 109 places, so I'm a little bit upset. JB's overtaken me now.
Yeah, I know. He was bragging about it last night. We were playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
I was playing Fortnite with JB last night, and he was just going all on about how awesome he was.
Yeah, kudos. He doesn't have Coniglio. Anyway.
That's why I made the podcast, by the way, because we were chatting about it, and I was like,
it's fair play. Well, I did. I tweeted them out today. I listened to them this morning. I tweeted them out a couple of things like I usually do, so they know I listen to them first thing on a Tuesday.
Yep.
However, anyway, good on you, JB. Like, really happy. I said, hey, look, I was the highest podcaster for a week, and I'll try and take that back. But anyway,
Fair
Chris,
enough.
how did you go?
Terrible. My season's officially over.
Really?
Oh, it was bad. So, I mean, obviously, I don't have Coniglio. So right there and then, that was pretty much done and dusted. I was in the cup game. I was coming off my best week of the year. I was traveling really well.
Yep.
I went into the.
Did you lose your cup game?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You went horrible.
I went into the week thinking I didn't know who I was going to trade, if I was going to bring in Whitfield or if I was going to wait a week because, obviously he was going to lose cash.
Oh, yeah.
I had to bring him in this week anyway because I had to get Logue off my field because he would, obviously out on Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Which meant it forced me into a position where I would have to spend the extra cash to get Whitfield, which did leave me a little bit short on cash for my final mid-upgrade, but I was fine with that. And now we've got Coniglio down as well.
It's painful.
So now it's
any drop cash. Ugh.
And now it's awkward because I want to go up, but I want to go down. So the worst part about last week, so Logue goes down, or gets omitted, I should say, forces me to upgrade to Whitfield. My other option that I was looking at was to try and bring in Dunkley. Now, unfortunately, I looked around. There's no way I could have done it anyway. I was $200 short if I had gone Clark to Dunkley. So Dylan Clark was like my only option, and I was still $200 short. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't do it. But I was hopefully my goal was to trade Haitley up. So I was going to try and get Haitley up, and I was 23,000 short of doing that. So I went, scrap that idea. I can't get Dunkley in.
Let me try Clark. And you're like, oh, I'm so close.
I was so close. So I actually had a look at that. That was my ideal trade. But then I was forced to trade in and Whitfield, and of course he goes massive. What's even worse is he goes massive in a week where
Whitfield.
No,
Dunkley went massive. Oh, yeah. Oh.
So big, right? So he goes big.
So big.
Also in a week that my pod, so my unique forward pod is Jack Zeeble, he gets a 57. So I've basically lost 150 points from one person that week. And that's not even counting Coniglio. That's just on Dunkley. So that's just Dunkley.
Zeeble sputtered. Cunnington sputtered. I
didn't have Cunnington.
No,
but
I know some people did. I had a right ball there. The good news for you, Chris, though, is he only went up 25,000 this week to 625,000.
I know, and so now I definitely can't get him.
What? Even Coniglio across? No.
So here's what's the worst part about all of that. I actually went from I had 575k to pick my midfielder. So he was 599. I couldn't get it, right? So I just literally couldn't. There's no way I could have get it. I could have got Bont. Glad I didn't, because now he's in a moon boot, and maybe he plays this week, maybe he doesn't.
Yeah, let's find out probably Friday by the looks of it. So
let's be honest, Dogs are probably going to lose this week anyway with Richo quitting. So the Saints will actually show up this week, which would be interesting. So I have 575k, and I went, no, I'll play it safe, and I'll go down to JPK, which was the right choice.
Yeah.
From the other selections that I was looking at, he scored the highest. He was 108. He did score the highest of the choices that I was looking at. And then that'll leave me with a little bit of a nest egg, just in case exactly what I said happened, where I get an injury and then you drop cash and you just want enough money there to sideways to an actual decent premium.
Yeah.
Now I will be able to I've got now, with the money that I had in the nest egg, plus Coniglio, I can now go to 589. But I still don't have enough now to get to Dunkley.
Yeah, you can't do it.
And
the good thing with Dunkley owners is that even though Dunkley has gone so crazy for most of the year, he got to that point where he was too expensive around the buys. He dropped a little bit, and then he's gone bang out again. He's in 28% of sides.
Yeah.
So even just before the buys, I think it was about 11 or 12%.
Yeah.
He's jumped up a lot, yes. However, so he's at that point where it's just so awkward where people don't have the money to try and spend. It's like a Marshall right now.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to do it
because
because
is
he's
where
so
I
expensive.
lost this year. Forward line is where I just stuffed up from the start, starting with Robbie Gray. You had Dunkley.
Yeah, that was my big risk that paid off.
When Dunkley was going so shit, and then I had to trade Gray, I could have just side swapped him to Dunkley, but he was going so shit. Why would I do that?
Why would you? And even at this, even me, I was like the first 4 rounds or 5 rounds, I was like,
yeah, you were on the edge.
Well, even then, I was like, well, I kind of just got to sit with him and hopefully his role will change. And then little do we know, role changes.
Well, first upgrade, instead of going to Marshall, I went to Cameron. So I went to... Having said that, Marshall was on the back of his worst 2 scores of the year. So I was like, it was obviously a flash in the pan, because he's only had he had the first 3 weeks of good scoring, then he had a good score, and then 2 shit scores. And I was like, it's a flash in the pan. He's not going to be scoring good for the rest of the year. I'll skip on that. Bad idea. Then I went around the buys. I had the option to go Boak versus Dunkley, and I chose Boak. Now, that hasn't been terrible, because Boak's been pretty good. Yeah. But if I had known...
He's no Dunkley.
Well, if I had known... Dunkley hasn't missed a week, so not only do I have the donut from Boak... Well, I didn't have a donut because I had an emergency, but now that 200 has really, really hurt me. So the forward line is where I've made all of the wrong decisions.
What did you score then? 2,261. Yeah,
right. So not a great week.
Well, I'm just lucky that Dunkley made the extra 100 to pretty much make up for Coniglio 0. Yeah. With me, though, I did want to get in Whitfield so hard. I had 1 defender spot left. It was one of those really tricky situations, and I ummed and ahed for a long time. I even tried to ask Swizz and Matt for their opinion, and they just spoke about themselves.
Classic them.
Yeah, you heard me. I was trying to ask for their opinion, and I got nothing back. Probably because they didn't want me around.
No, they're competing with you, so why would they want to help you?
I know, but I needed help, Chris. So my dilemma was I was about 500 or 1,000 or 5,000. I was pretty close to going Gawn and Whitfield in and in. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it. And I was like, okay, maybe I could sit there and just keep Lysett in the forward line. However, I knew Lysett was probably a bit iffy at that point in time.
Yep.
So if he's a laid out, I've got no ruck cover. I'm losing points there again as well. And... I was like, well, I can't
He had a bit of a poor week, didn't he, as well?
Well, yeah. So he was a little bit stiff and but again, it's a bit hard to catch up on points when your team gets flogged by 40 points in the first 10 minutes. It's really hard to come back from that. So for me, I was literally looking at, okay, if I get Whitfield, I could do that, but he's been in and out twice already. Not of my side, in my side once, but injured twice already. I couldn't do it for the price-wise. I was like, okay, so I can get Whitfield and I can probably go a Sloan. I was even tossing up Duncan. I was like, but Duncan and Merritt are going to drop in price. Sloan, but he might get tagged for the next few weeks. I do like Sloan, but then I'm like, I might then be shortchanged because I was trying to look long-term. And that's the thing that I've said the last few weeks is looking long-term. So I was doing up all the maths with if I got Sloan and if I get Whitfield, that's 560k plus another 544k. I'm going to have to really rely on Setterfield doing well and Clark doing well for another week in order for me to actually go 1 down, 1 up and get Gawn this week. And if I couldn't do that, then it was essentially I'm going to have to wait another week for Gawn to drop again, and I'm going to be essentially taking Setterfield's score over Gawn's for another week, which kind of doesn't make it that worth it. So in the end, I was like, okay, so I went with the Laird option, which I hated when that Gold Coast, I broke Laird. I brought in Laird and Gawn before the Adelaide game, 7 p.m. That's how long I stewed on my choice for. All day Saturday. I was like, Laird plays every game. He'll get you 100. He's consistent. He's not going to hurt me.
And then he sucked.
Maybe if Sicily pulls the finger out, I might have a luxury trade to go Whitfield when he drops to 500 or something, right? Well, that's what I was thinking. So, little to know, Laird gets tagged. He's on absolute sweet FA at halftime. And I was like, sorry, boys, I broke Laird.
He's on 28 or something at halftime.
So bad. Yeah. I'm like, what have I done here? And I was like, no, it's okay. You don't know what Gawn's going to score. Gawn might do well, you know. Meanwhile, like Laird at
halftime, Gawn was on like 80 or something.
Yeah, and Sloan gets like 116. Duncan gets about 117. Merritt gets 109. But in the end, like at least Gawn got 117 or something or other. So it kind of worked out okay. I'm not that upset that I have Laird because I think he's consistent. I want a Whitfield, yes, higher risk reward. So now I'm at this point. I'm at this real crossroad, and this is why I'm going to bring this to this question here, Chris, is because I'm going to be honest. I have 5 trades. I have to trade Coniglio. And then I've got Setterfield, who's at a really good price. He's like 315k. He's at a good price. I've also got Clark, who's like 275k, possibly going up to about 290 this week. Mm-hmm. And I've also got Chol, who's on 230k. So he's looking pretty good. I've only got 5 trades though. And Setterfield is probably the one that you probably want to get rid of. However, the swing that I could get from him is quite good. Mm-hmm. If I can keep him, then I could use him as that forward sort of swing role. So I could actually trade out Chol. So this week, if I went...
Why don't you just trade him down to Ian Hill?
Yeah, but...
You still maintain the swing, and then...
You reckon Ian Hill keeps playing, though?
Yeah, I do.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's not a bad option.
Passed the eye test massively on the weekend. They really lack that small forward pressure. Toby Green's moved into the midfield to compensate for Josh Kelly being out. And this was...
That is the interesting one.
Having said that... Obviously, Coniglio out. I think Haitley does come back in.
Yes.
So that may impact it, but I do believe that Green probably plays midfield until Kelly comes back.
Well,
so at least 3 weeks.
Kind of... Green does interest me. He's 420k or something, but...
I wouldn't be touching him.
I wouldn't be touching him, but he's still interesting.
Yeah, he's always interesting.
So here's my dilemma, and I'm sure some people are trying to toss up the same kind of thing. With my side, I have 5 trades. I could essentially move Dunkley into the midfield. I could... trade Coniglio to like an Elliot Yeo, someone a bit more expensive, like up to about 550k. Get an Elliot Yeo in, and then trade Setterfield to Hawkins.
Nah, don't do it.
Hawkins is cheap though.
Yeah, but
so
Hawkins
cheap.
has gone shit.
And for 3-4 games, that's cool. But he's still. I reckon
I'd honestly rather have Jack Silvani.
I reckon he'll come good. No, I would not rather Jack Silvani.
That's a lie.
Either way, he'll score.
That's a lie. I apologise. That was
either way, he'll score more Setterfield, and I could keep Clark. I could keep some cover. The other option is that I then go. I'm going to have to go 1 up, 1 down. And I'm going to have 2 trades left and hope that I make 6 weeks with 2 trades.
I see what you mean.
Yeah. So then if I could go Hawkins in this week. I could do Setterfield across Yo in and have 3 trades left, and I could do it this week. Otherwise, I have to go 1 up, 1 down.
Well, the left field options to go Toby Green.
I can't
I'd
afford
rather
him. He's 420k. I can't afford it.
So how much is...
358. He's so cheap.
So you need that extra 70k.
I would have to. No, I don't. Not if I do that. I have like 478k or 378k. I don't even think I can afford.
Why don't what about if you went Coniglio to Merritt? So there's 42k in your pocket.
Well, that was the other option. If I went with say someone cheaper like Merritt or Duncan, then I could actually
get up to Toby Green.
Maybe not Toby Green. What about Jeremy Cameron? He's cheap.
No. If I was you, that's what I would be doing because it's a POD against the rest of the competition that are in the top 100. So not many of them are going to trade in. It's a risk-reward pick.
I'm not even in the top 100.
But you still have 3 trades in case something was to happen to them.
True.
But you'd be full premium. So I would rather do that. 100% I would go Coniglio down to Duncan or Merritt. And then I would go Setterfield up to...
And then keep 3 trades. Because I think at this point, the way that the injuries have gone the last few weeks is I'd rather have the extra trade and go full premium. Even if it means I might lose...
In your
5
position,
points or 7 points or
everyone
whatever. Everyone now
around
has no
you
trades.
is full premium.
Yeah.
So if you're not full premium, you're just leaking points every week now, moving forward.
Yeah. And I also think everyone with full teams right now probably has no trades left either. Well, minimal. Except for maybe JB because he just, likes to email them and get a few trades sneaked in on the download.
He's got 2.
Yeah, I don't have many.
So you've got 1 more than that. That's what I would do. Now, I know that, again, Toby Green is not it's a situational pick. I wouldn't be recommending Toby Green to everybody out there. I would only recommend it in certain situations.
Yeah, only if you're going for the biscuit.
This is a situation where you need to maximize your trades. You need to maximize your value of your trades, and you're in a position where you have that exact amount of money. It's a no-brainer to me. If you were to do that extra trade to get someone up, who would you go to? And are they going to average more than Toby Green over the next 4 weeks? Probably not. So, who's your other option in the forward line that you were looking at? Marshall is probably way out of your price range. You can't get him.
So yeah, if I bring in a merit, let me do this live. PS.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live, everyone. Okay, so if I do that, trade player out. Let me just go and get rid of my spuds. And what is going on here? Play trade. Anyway, you keep talking, Chris.
All right. So moving on, let's have a look at the bubble boys. We already mentioned Ian Hill. He's not on the bubble this week, but he did play very well for GWS, and I do believe that he's got some decent job security lined up. I think Haitley comes in this week for Coniglio. I would be very surprised. He had 32 disposals and 1 goal in the NEFL.
4K short of Toby.
Oh, you're 4K short.
Yeah,
that's
3. Yeah, no, 4K, 4.5. That's okay, Chris.
That's upsetting for you.
It is. It really is. I can get a Degoe. I can get Jeremy Cameron. I can afford.
Don't bother.
I'd honestly rather just take Hawkins and risk it. If he goes, even if Hawkins averages like 90, it's not the worst thing in the world.
I don't love it. I don't love it. No.
I might as well just try and get a.
And so you have gone now, hey?
Yeah, I've got him.
Okay.
Yep.
All good. So Ian Hill's one, of course. We've got Egil Malesi, or whatever the hell his name is, from Richmond. He was okay. I can't see him really stringing together enough games to be a viable option moving forward as an actual bench cover. I don't think he's really got the job security there for it. I think Choles, I think he'll play the rest of the year.
You reckon now?
Honestly do, yeah.
I'm
Every game
so.
I see him in, he plays better and better and better.
Well, the better thing is, if I just wait a week, he'll spike in price.
That's true.
You know who else on the bubble, Chris?
Who else?
Dan Hanbury.
That's not going to happen. Kyle Dunkley is on the bubble as well, but he's been playing a lot more forward than I would like, which is going to
I think he's averaging
his...
like 49.5 or something. It's not great.
Look,
he's not bad. He's cheap though. Like maximizing cash if you need to maximize cash.
Here's what I won't be doing. I wouldn't be trading out someone like Dylan Clark for Dunkley. Dylan Clark seems to be locked into that side for the rest of the season. His role is brilliant. He's shut out some of the premier midfielders in the game. Last week he shut out Cunnington like it was nothing. Yeah. Cunnington has been the best clearance player of the year by none. And he absolutely smashed the shit out of him.
Taggers are like the new black, right? They're just back in the fold.
Well, this happens every year. And I don't know why people haven't noticed it, but every year, the year starts and there's no taggers. No one's tagging. Everyone's trying to play their game plan. And then it gets towards the middle and the back end of the year. They're like, shit, we got to actually start winning some games here. Let's go and start shutting down their form.
They also watch and see which ones are the most
damaging.
They've
got tape. They can understand their game style and game plan.
And put time into them. So they go, okay, so what's their game style, first of all? So what's Richmond's game style this year? This is what they're trying to play. Okay, these are the people they're trying to use. This is what they're doing effectively.
And this is how we can shut those players down.
How we can shut those players down to stop their run, to stop their game plan, and then see what plan B they have.
Yep, exactly.
Or what plan C.
Absolutely.
And then maybe someone else will shut them down. So what did they revert to? They reverted to this. So what we're going to do, we're going to shut down them. They're going to revert. If they revert to this, we're going to do that. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, well, we've got nothing.
Well,
smashed.
I mean, that's exactly how Collingwood won on Friday night. We stopped them from scoring for 40 minutes because we stopped their run off half back.
Worth every dollar now.
Well, legitimately, they couldn't get a handball received. They were forced to kick down the line. They couldn't clear the ball properly. When they did get it past the halfway, it was coming straight back in. They set up behind the ball absolutely fantastically.
It looked like a bit of a shamble to start.
It did, but they won that game based on a power of numbers. Eventually, the damn wall breaks. They just kept bombing, and it wasn't the greatest thing. But that's all you can do when their entire 18 players on field for the defence are all in your defensive 50.
I'm going to disagree here, Chris. I'm going to say the direct correlation to Collingwood sucking and losing that game was Darcy Moore.
Yeah, that sucks.
The minute he went out, look, less points against. They're starting to actually rebound it. They're getting a bit more speed at that back line. Darcy Moore.
We got lucky there. There was a couple of free kicks that weren't paid
lucky
towards Jack Darling. That Braden Maynard was playing on Darling.
I never thought I would have heard you say that.
Nah, I reckon.
So one-eyed. I was watching the game with him. So one-eyed, just Ball, that was surely ball. And I'm looking over, I'm like, I
was-
think that was okay. I think you got a handball. to that one, Chris.
it's a hit at the moment.
Nah. That was ball. Dumb sheep, Chris.
I
Dumb
reckon, dumb sheet's a fuck with.
Dumb sheep.
I reckon that Jack Darling had his arm chopped a couple of times in a marking contest that should have been paid. And I think we're all lucky to not get those kicks against us because he makes you pay. So there was that. So I don't think necessarily having Darcy Moore. I think that having Braden Maynard was a risk because he was chopping the arms because he's just not tall enough and Darling's just way too strong in the marking contest. So
Right. I thought normally was it Maynard just normally appeals for being held off the contest, wasn't it?
that's usually what happens. Yeah.
Usually what happens.
Meanwhile, in that game, how good was Jared Cameron? By the way, he was absolutely tearing it up.
The Cameron brothers.
Yeah, well, he was in 62 at half time.
The Cameron brothers are the new Riolis, I reckon.
Yeah.
Last name Cameron is like the new Rioli. They are
Talented.
explosive. They are dynamic. How funny is this though? Like Jeremy Cameron.
good.
So the Lions game, right? As I do, sometimes I do some cardio, speaking Spanish now, while I watch the footy, right? So I was watching the Lions game, hop on the old bike, the hamster wheel bike, and we started kicking goals. I was like, I'm going to have to stay on this bike now.
Until we stop kicking goals.
Yeah, and then the tide changed. But again, explosive, dynamic. He's so, like, people give away free kicks because they don't want Charlie Cameron to get past them. They will literally hold him, take him to ground. Oh, whoops, I tackled you without the ball.
Yeah.
Because they know that it's better to have him having a kick from 45 than it is to get past him.
Yeah.
And Burton did his hammy chasing down Cameron.
That's upsetting for Burton.
Like, he's trying to run
I really
after
like
him
Burton too.
and did his hammy.
Yeah.
And Cameron, bless his cotton socks. I mean, apart from spraying this kick like worse than Sprainer, who also lived up to his name and did miss a kick, he went back over and he's like, oh yeah, like, are you okay, kind of thing, and showed real good character, I felt. So
I think Charlie Cameron's a fantastic person, like first and foremost. But he's a goddamn jet.
Speaking of the Lions game, besides it being awesome, I just love the opening start anyway. They went after Lockie Neal, and yes, they had a hit and gave away free kicks, which I find hilarious, but they're so intent on winning that footy that they're all around the ball, and then on the outside, the Lions were just smashing them. And then
Which
Robbo,
brings me to my next point.
Oh, which one? Robbo? Come on.
Dane Zorko.
Oh, yes.
I've got enough to pick him up this week, and I'm thinking I might go the coffee train. That's my last upgrade. Let's do it. Let's go the Zork.
He's expensive.
It's $5.77. I got $5.89. Let's do it.
I'd go Elliot Yeo over Zorko, and that.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do on with the rest of the money?
Did I did not just say that.
What I can't do anything with the rest of the money. The rest of the money that I have is pointless.
Go
It's
Elliot
all
Yeo.
injury trades.
Go Elliot Yeo. You've been living that. I'm going Elliot Yeo. Live that hype train, mate.
I'm thinking no. I'm thinking 3% of teams.
You thinking Zorko?
I'm thinking Zork. I'm thinking
Jeez,
the mighty Zorko.
You might as well go Duncan, who's in 2% of sides.
Have
Are
you
you
seen
mad?
this score pattern?
Score pattern.
Score pattern over the last 10 weeks has been absolutely phenomenal.
And we've also won a lot of games. In the
Who's
last 10
getting the
weeks,
tag? Who's just peeling off the packs and damaging every single play? Dude, he's dominating the game now all of a sudden. And it's strange because he's playing a different role than what he did in the first 6 weeks.
Very much.
Very different role, but his tackle numbers are still high. His pressure acts are still high, and his kicking efficiency is still good, and he finishes too. So
okay, this one's not the
I
worst.
liked him at the start of the season.
This one's not the worst call. I mean, for those that have been with us all season, Sam Petrovsky-Seton is probably one of your worst calls for the year.
He's going well again.
Averaging, what, 83? I think I worked it out. 83 and a half? You are delirious.
Nah, he's going all right.
Same way for you
He's
chopping...
going all right.
Same way for you trying to cut down my bloody gut feel on Dangerfield VC. The
Oh,
same way. I can't
still,
be upset.
You still agreed with me in the end that it was the right logic.
Well, when you look back at Grundy's scores, you're kind of like, well, you kind of have to. For those who weren't paying attention, I had, after the discussion last week, the podcast we did, the Twitch stream, I ended up going, okay, fine, you're right, you make sense. I put a VC on.
Was funny.
I put a VC on Grundy, right? So I had McRae as my captain. I had Dangerfield as my VC.
It's arguably not your fault. It's KO's fault.
Wait. So I had VC on Dangerfield. I had the C on McRae. I was like, yeah, Chris, you're right. So I went and goes Grundy VC, which then should have made Grundy VC. McRae still stays captain. Happy days, right? Easy. So we pushed our luck. We did our podcast. We go downstairs. We set up a shop. Chris sets up his KO.
90.8.
No way.
Oh, that's his
last
5.
3
That's
rounds?
his 5 round average.
5 round. Don't try and stir me. 83.4. Anyway, so we get down there. The game starts. As I'm doing that, I'm like, oh, I don't know about this Grundy thing. So I was like, maybe I can put Dangerfield back as my VC. So I'm logging into the app. I look down. Grundy C. I was going, huh? Oh my God. So I'm like trying to like change it. And I was like, no, Grundy VC. Next minute it's like locked. I'm sorry, we can't do that request. And Chris is like, oh yeah, KO's on a delay. And I was like, no!
It's only like a 30-second delay, but
So
it's...
I was literally, I didn't have it worked out. Like, I guess, Grundy, worse things could happen. But not getting a double chance, I was like, and when he started off a bit slow and Nick Nat was just dominating in first quarter, I was like, my life is ruined.
Well, I was hoping it was ruined. Another thing that ruined my weekend was Heath Shaw.
Oh, yes.
So Heath Shaw scored 20 points. 20 points on the weekend.
Our bet, the Hurley reference?
So bad.
Was he injured or just shit?
Hurley's done for the year.
No, I know. I'm talking about Shaw, because Shaw...
No, Shaw played the whole game. He was just shit. So he literally
The funny part was, though, when I heard Hurley got injured, out for the year, right? Hurley got injured. I was like, oh my God, his score's horrible. It was like 30-odd.
36, I think.
Right? I was like, oh great. Heater Shaw's going to now overtake him.
I was like this the whole time.
Heater Shaw's going to overtake him, and then next minute, Heater Shaw gets 20.
So, I don't know whether...
How does that happen? What's the average?
So, Shaw's now averaging 79.6. And I reckon it's going to be... Hurley's going to be...
have to be under,
82, I reckon? Nah.
83.
83? Yeah, so Shaw's got to try and make up 4 points per game over the next 6 weeks. So, how much is that? 4 points per game over 6 weeks.
24?
Yeah, so no, because how many rounds is it now?
24 more.
So let's say it's 22 games in a year. So he needs to make up 4 points per game, which means that he needs to score an extra 88 points on top of 83. So let's say there's 6 rounds left.
That's so good.
What's 88 divided by 6?
I think you're kind of lucky here, Chris, because I don't think we really set the parameters on this bet.
88 divided by 6
Did
equals.
we? I don't think we set the parameters.
So he needs to that's what he needs to get over his average. So he needs to average 95 between now and the end of the year.
93 or something.
Oh yeah, 93 between now and the end of the year.
I don't think we really set the parameters on this bet though, or did we?
Oh, who knows?
I can't remember.
I'll just cancel out one of the other bets that I'm losing.
I don't know. I think we're a bit slack on the bets this year. Chris and I had a bit of a discussion off.
I'm winning the draft league bet that we have every year though.
It's not every year. It's 1 year.
Every year we have a
We do not every year.
Who's better in the draft?
Oh, yeah, we're better in the draft league. I'm not giving you my second round draft pick though. We didn't bet that.
Oh,
that was a 1 year special.
We call him a renege king. The renege king.
It wasn't an every year thing. It was a 1 year special.
It's a lifetime achievement award, all right?
It is not. Fucking hell.
Do you reckon you're going to make the finals? How
close I need to win this week. I dumped Franklin. I dumped everyone. That's shit. Meanwhile, speaking of playing midfield like Toby Green is, Chad Wingard. I actually saw him in the midfield a little bit. Looked quite good. Like, I know
way better in the midfield than he is.
I know we highly rated him at the start of the year. He is actually around Hawkins' price, I believe, about 360k. I could afford a Wingard.
Ooh.
I know. Also shady.
I'm not sure.
I'm acting like I'm playing.
I actually think if you can't get to green, there is no point in choosing anyone else. You may as well just do down up.
350k, 358 for Hawkins. I'm tempted, mate. I love a bargain.
Oh no.
Love a bargain. I'll pretend I'm not ranked 244.
Don't do it and say that you did.
Anyway, so Chris and I were speaking because we like to go on some tangents.
Tangent.
It's not a segue. Okay, so here's the thing. Last year, we pretty much just got together. We recorded podcasts. We released them. People would comment back on Facebook, through Twitter, and we'd engage that way. This year, we had the awesome idea of doing Twitch, which we have loved, mind you.
It's been great.
Absolutely loved. However, with the comments that come through, sometimes we get a little bit sidetracked. So today, we haven't really looked at them as much. While we podcast, we kind of look at them, and then we'll engage with that afterwards. Going forward I feel like this is kind of our second year half breakout, but needs work. So we were discussing that we'll probably do a normal pod next year. It's a bit late now. We're not going to, the season's pretty well. Everyone has their team sorted. So now it's good for us to just talk bullshit.
Yep.
So next year we're looking at getting together, doing our normal podcast. Facts. These are the people we're looking at. This, that, bang, bang, bang. So if you've got an hour, bang, you listen to this 50 minutes or whatever it is. This is all the information. These are our thoughts, etc., etc.
We'll still record it on Twitch, but we're not going to make it Twitch.
You can watch us live,
yeah.
So you don't have to wait for the release. And after that, though, we will then stop that broadcast, whether we do it on a different day or straight afterwards. We will then record and do an interactive talk crap, engage with you, answer your questions, look at your teams.
Probably separate is what we're going to do. We're probably going to do the team
reveal. Because then that way,
night.
If you want to listen to the facts and whatever, bang, you get your hit here. And if you like the other part that we do as well, then you can stick around, or you can then engage with us that way. And basically, we cover both angles, because at this point, our structure last year was really on point because we had a run sheet in front of us and it was us sticking to the games and our thoughts and etc. etc. Whereas this year's been a bit more, okay, so this is what we're doing, and then like, oh look, a
Been a
squirrel.
bit open season. Yeah,
Oh, look, a squirrel, right?
Squirrel.
Yeah, so look, if you do have any suggestions, let us know. But next year will be our third year breakout.
We are, and we're also looking at doing a little, as part of that second one, a little game show that it'll be a little bit more interactive with everyone as well, which will be pretty cool.
So like weekly segments and kind of some other fun things. So if you have some ideas,
it'll be completely interactive on Twitch. So we'll ask a question. There'll be a screen up with the question, and Twitch there's a program in the back end of Twitch that you can use to actually collate those answers, and then at the end it collects the winner, and then that gets announced as part of that show. So we do a little 20-minute segment with a few different questions and have some fun with it.
Yeah, so
I think it'll be really cool. All Supercoach related, all AFL related. Yeah, so just something different that we're thinking of showing the community.
We are looking at some stuff. Speaking of getting distracted and going sideways, funniest thing, Chris.
Yes.
Placement. I'm about to go on placement. I had to email the guy. I got inside word from the vice principals.
You email him?
No, yeah, I did. I sent him an email.
You tell him that you're ranked 130?
No, I got an inside word from the vice principal saying he has quite the Supercoach side. So I was like, hey, blah, 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 formal. Can I get your schedule? Whatever. I look forward to meeting you. Again, look forward to being there. And at the end of it, I was like, so, blah, 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 says you have quite the Supercoach team. I hope you didn't have Coniglio. Left it at that, trying to put in a little sneaky. His email, though, comes back. The first two sentences are about Supercoach. And I was like, yes, I got him.
You're like...
And he had Coniglio, and he had Darcy Moore. Anyway, yeah, pretty much. He had Coniglio, had Darcy Moore, and yeah, Love and Life. So I was like, bang, got him, Supercoach.
And Darcy Moore.
Yeah, he had both.
Oh, ouch, down.
Hating life. So anyway, that was my sideways trade.
All good. Now, talking about a good game this week, Carlton again have turned it around, haven't they?
How?
Jesus. Well, I'll tell you what they did. They're playing Mark Murphy in the midfield. That helps.
First of all.
Helps playing your best players around the ball.
Kurnow's tagging. Also helps.
Helps playing your best players in roles that they're actually good for.
I know.
But also, it does help that Casbolt is taking marks and kicking accurately. That's one good thing as well. And then look, they've given a license to Sam Walsh. He's a runner in their team.
Yeah.
He's the one that can run and spread. They've given him a license to just do whatever he wants, which is awesome. So I really enjoy that. Defensively though, their mechanisms defensively are a lot better. Nick Newman was, I thought, best on ground last week.
Oh, it went bang.
Absolutely. He was huge. Every time the ball went forward, he was that loose defender this week, and it was amazing. Having said that, I do have him in a couple of draft leagues, but I don't have him in standard, and I don't think many people do have him in standard now after he had a few dud games, but absolutely amazing. Really disappointed with Isaac Heaney this week. Yep. He got enough of the ball. He just turned it over so many times.
Butcher.
Oh, he was the biggest butcher by hand and by foot. He was turning the ball over constantly. So, if you are a Heaney owner, it wasn't a role change. He wasn't playing more forward minutes. He was around the ball enough. He got enough of the pill. He just turned it over so much, and that's his bad score.
What about Parker?
Well, I think Parker's definitely gone down since obviously Kennedy has come in. But his role hasn't changed too much. It's just they're more sharing it around. JPK seems to be the one that's getting more clearances, of course, and that was really what
more
Parker...
points.
Yeah. And that's really... That's the only difference there. But even then, like, JPK, 108, he only had 10 points in the third quarter. Like, he could have gone 90. Or but he ended up managing to squeeze out a 108, which was good.
Quickly, Chris, though, with GWS and all their key players out, do you see, like, Taranto and Hopper really lifting their game and scoring well?
So one of the things I was looking at this week was what to do with Coniglio, and Taranto is the first one that came to mind. I do think
he'll handle the attention or up against a better player, or you reckon he'll just...
Well, it depends. I mean, the thing that happened earlier in the year was when there wasn't a Coniglio or a Kelly in, Taranto would step up.
Especially against the weaker sides, he went big.
But Kelly's due back in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Green's now in that midfield. Green wasn't in that midfield earlier in the year because he wasn't fit enough.
Yeah.
So I'm not entirely sure that he will have that same 130, 140 output that he was having in those weeks prior to the start of the year. Now, I'm not saying it's not a great pick because he could turn around and average 120 for the rest of the year and be an awesome pick. I'm just not sold on it because, again, GWS, anything can happen.
Yeah.
And I don't...
Did you like that tweet?
I think I'm done with GWS.
Rule number 100?
Yeah.
Don't choose anyone from GWS?
Well, do I really want to trade a troubled or injured Giro star to get in a up and down scorer like Taranto, maybe that plays for the same team with the same issues and the same coach.
That's why I think Duncan would be quite reliable with their run home.
No.
And I think a lot of people have Duncan's only 2% owned. I see that going up. I think he's about 502k. Scored 115 or 117 on the weekend.
Yeah.
Really reliable though, and their draw is really positive coming up. Like there's not.
I like their draw.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like yes, Lions are probably harder at the moment. Carlton's probably harder, but
I think for me though, when push comes to shove, he's not in their best three midfielders. He's actually not in their best.
Well, he's not really playing 100% midfield.
Even though he's a really good, I think he's an absolutely amazing player.
Well, he's actually getting into the defensive line a little bit more as well. The thing he has going
that's
for
why
him,
I don't love.
I know, right? But the thing he has going for him is the kicking efficiency and the fact that no one pays any attention to him.
Absolutely,
that is what he has going for him.
He's definitely more of an outside player because of his kicking efficiency, and he's one that they look to get the ball in their hands when they're trying to transition from defense to attack.
Yeah.
But to me, I don't know. I'm not sold on him because he's just too up and down.
It's kind of like that second cousin that all of a sudden becomes hot. You're like, where'd you come from?
Yeah, second cousin. I'm kidding. I think what we should do.
Cousins. We just have first cousins.
Well, yeah. What I'm trying to do from now until the end of the season, I want to start having a look at guys that have caught your eye that you're looking at getting in next year, and I've got a nice juicy one.
McCluggage.
No, he's definitely going to be in my team next year.
I know that.
Someone that I want to start right now. If it was day one Supercoach 2020, who am I starting?
Heaney.
George Hewitt. I'm starting George Hewitt without a doubt. Georgie Hewitt from Sydney.
Why?
Oh, mate, have a look at this guy's trend. So the unfortunate thing about Hewitt in the past is that he's had tagging roles, but he's transitioning out of that. You know how players, when they're developing,
like Coniglio.
They go through that part of their career where they're doing either a tagging role, or they're playing in defensive role to try and learn that defensive aspect of the game so they can combine defense and attack. Look at his scoring range for the entire season and tell me that doesn't impress you. So he score 88. So this is the start of his year. 88, 69, 62, 55, 84, 99. And here's where it starts to go. He went big against Brisbane Lions. Big score of the year, 154. Then he had a 78, 127. Then he had a 31. Then he had 103, 110, 86, 121, 91, 104.
Yeah.
His back end of the season since round 7. But see those little scores in between? That's when he's had jobs. So he's had defensive roles and defensive responsibilities. I honestly think that next year transitioning to a more pure midfielder where he can go two-way midfielder, I don't mind his ability. And
if he's a forward mid, maybe.
I don't think he'll be a forward.
Exactly. So therefore, it's not relevant.
He's going to be low enough price because he's averaging 91 for the year. I think he's going to be a low enough price as that breakout candidate, that just below 500k, like a Taranto was this year, like a Coniglio was the year before. And I'm looking at a juicy option at that 91 average to take his game to the next level and average 105 plus.
See, Taranto would interest me next year if Coniglio goes, which I reckon
and
he interests me.
I agree.
Pluggage interests me. With that one, Chris, you could choose anyone in the whole league, and you choose fucking Hewitt.
Okay.
You know why I can't?
Get in the chat right now if you like Georgie Hewitt.
You know why I can't? You know why I can't stand Hewitt?
Why?
Because it reminds me of Leighton.
Come on! I love a good Leighton. Who doesn't love Leighton Hewitt? Anyway, I like him, and I think that he's got a lot of value, and he's going to be. I think he's got the potential to be a top tier scorer.
Jesus,
honestly,
Christ. I would be more inclined to look at Gresham from now with the new coach, hoping to play midfield role, than on Hewitt next year.
The thing is that Hewitt's got everything about his game. He's dynamic. He tackles hard. He's a big-bodied mid. He runs hard. He can take a grab. Gresham's a one-trick pony. He's that agile, small mid. He's really good at clearing a ball in close spaces, but he's not a big body.
And he doesn't
He's not
tag.
really a big tackler.
He doesn't tag.
He's not a defensive mid.
He doesn't tag.
Yeah.
Here's what would be funny. We spoke about this hypothetical. If Christensen loses his job, the new coach comes in. He probably wants to find out a little bit about his team. They also want to find out a little bit about trade value. Maybe some people are best 22. Maybe
they're gearing up for next year because
maybe we're gearing up for next year.
Anyway.
Maybe we're looking at trade value. Like, has this person got a commodity? Maybe they're not in our best 22, and we want to give them a crack to get them some trade value and see what they're worth. Enter Billy Longer.
I like it. You know what they need to do? They need to experiment Rowan Marshall on a wing. Or experiment Rowan Marshall at full forward.
Play him full forward for a bit. Give him a chop out. Give him a rest. Play Billy longer and see what's going on. And Marshall to average.
I agree.
Forward.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
You know what? We should start a hashtag.
Start a hashtag.
Hashtag.
Get longer to the forward. No, get Marshall to the forward line.
No, just say. Let's see. Yeah, we need to think.
Let's marshal him forward. Let's marshal him forward. Hashtag marshal him forward.
Hashtag rest Marshall.
Hashtag Marshall.
Yeah. Ben Ashton, mate, it's gonna happen. We're gonna jinx this. But at the same time, new coach, you need to look at Curnow. Curnow's moved back into the midfield. Murphy's moved back into the midfield. They're mixing it up. They're changing it because that's what that coach wants. Zeeble been playing midfield. They bring in different dynamics. Ahern seems to be coming back into the fold of best 22.
Which is annoying to me. But having said that,
things change.
Zeeble played well enough mid-time. Yeah. I watched that entire game. He was around the ball. He just couldn't get near it. Yeah. It was not like a positional change.
I'm just saying, new coach though.
Yeah.
New perspective. Maybe he's...
And the goals that he could have kicked,
maybe he's bestie with Longers, back behind the scenes. You never know whoever caretaker coach is.
I like it.
It's going to be interesting.
Hashtag get Marshall forward.
Hashtag Marshall forward.
Now, something that really, really pissed me off, and I got a little bit excited when it happened, is that Nat Fyfe went huge after going down to the rooms with another injury. And I tell you what...
That's probably your second mistake, besides not starting...
At what point
Dunkley
does Ross Lyon say, we're resting Fyfe for the rest of the year?
Well, at the point that I have 0 trades is what's going to happen.
I honestly think that it'll happen because I did a ladder predictor the other day and I got Freo dropping well out of the 8.
Yep.
Like they're already, I think, 11th at the moment, but their run home is really tough.
Here's where you're wrong. He's captain. You don't drop your captain to rest them.
That's not the issue.
To rest them.
His body is not coping with the full season.
It's coping. It's just copping different niggles.
Every week it's something else.
Something else.
Every week.
Yeah, it's just going in circles. It's
First was the elbow. Now it's the shoulder.
I did tweet out though. Mundy was saying that
he might get rested as well.
Well, yeah, he's saying that he's the type of person that doesn't like to be rested because he likes to play. However, if
play the kids Ross.
Hashtag if someone taps him on the shoulder, he'll have a rest.
I reckon it's going to happen with Nat Fyfe.
Nah.
I reckon it won't be now, but I reckon you get to around 20.
Well, I heard Dr. Supercoach talking about maybe they rest Clayton Oliver because their season's
cooked. Apparently we got a message on Saturday morning that Clayton Oliver's gone through a fitness test. So we're lucky he even played on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky Lysette played.
And this is, by the way, this was an actual photo that was taken at Olympic Park where it was just Clayton Oliver training with 2 trainers and it looked like they were going through a fitness test and they took photos. So we got that sent to us on Saturday morning, was it?
Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah. So look, not to say that it might have just been a personal training session. We don't know, but from the person who was actually taking the photos, they said it looked like he was going through a fitness test. So that would have been scary if that was the case. Yes. Anyway, so Nat Fyfe goes off, comes back on, and I've called him like he's done for the day. He's down the rooms. He's not coming back on. He comes back to rest in the forward line. Kicks 3 goals in 5 minutes and goes to over 100 Supercoach.
Yeah, bang.
Tore the game
Absolutely
open.
Bang. Like Bontempelli, that literally was off for a whole quarter. Boys need me. Gets out there.
Right? And so now he's probably not... I don't reckon Bond's playing this week.
Yeah, well, testing it Friday.
By the sound of that interview...
6-day break. It's hopeful. The idea is that we play. I'm testing it out. We're going to keep off my feet, see the swelling go down.
If you watch the interview, you'll see it in his face. He doesn't think he's going to be able to play this week. Yeah. There is no way that he plays this week.
Right, lucky I got Clark on that Friday, huh?
Yeah. Anyway, you got Bond, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I had all the good players, and that's why I was so highly ranked.
Fair enough.
And now they're all falling over.
So Todd Goldstein, the gift that keeps giving, he actually ended up outscoring Goldie this week. Gorn. Only by 15 points.
That's done well for you, though.
Well, that map now means that it's 162 points that I'm ahead from that trade, which means for the next 6 rounds, that is, he needs to average just under 30 points per game. Yep. Over, sorry. I think it's like 32 points per game.
I regret my decision. I thought I had enough trades to kind of do the old double backseat. Whereas now, knowing all the injuries with Coniglio and Kelly and stuff like that, I would have just gone sideways as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How good was Robbie Tarrant, though? Basically taking every intercept mark known to man.
Underrated.
Very underrated. Cam Zerha's had a really good stint up forward, and I really hope
couple good games in a row now.
Mate, he's played really good in this back end of the year, so I'm really happy with the way he's gone about it. Excuse me. Whoa, excuse me. They come in threes. Sorry, guys. McDonald Tip and Woody with his amazing couple of goals, but also generally great game overall.
Chris, they don't come in threes. They come in 3 seconds with you.
That's true. Would you believe that I traded out Connor McKenna from our draft league team before the bounce?
Yeah, and he was available yesterday. I could have picked him up.
Yeah, that was really annoying. But he played quite well. Good games, though, on the weekend at Essendon and North.
There were some really good games, except for the Adelaide and Suns game.
Yeah.
Absolute whitewash.
We won't go through too much. But as predicted, Rory Sloane didn't do anything to set the world alight. Like, I couldn't believe people going, "Oh, Rory Sloane's a VC chance against Gold Coast."
No.
Like, well, why? He's never proved ever that he's averaged really well against lower teams. He actually had a fairly good game,
but the load was so widely spread. I mean, look at how many guys scored 90 or above.
Yeah.
That's the only reason Laird actually went 91 is because of how much they smashed them.
Yeah.
The points were so heavily weighed to Adelaide, it was just ridiculous.
And just a sneaky little waiver chance if he's still floating around your league. Jake Kelly has played really well the last few weeks.
He's been good. Meanwhile, also we said ever reliable Weller had a pretty shit game.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, or most of the Suns do. You can't lose by nearly 100 points and expect to score well.
That's true. But look, I think that, the Gold Coast, they just need to get into the sheds, really. Their season's done.
They need a new season. They're worn out. They're flogged.
Oh, well, not to mention half their list is injured. They've only got the only team that's got an equal or maybe even slightly better injury list is Collingwood. Everyone in their list is pretty much injured.
Well, Richmond's coming back to the fold now, which is good for them.
Yeah, Richmond are coming back, which is always
Starting
good.
to look strong.
That was another interesting game.
First half was good. First half was good.
Yeah, definitely.
St Kilda and Geelong.
Yeah, definitely. So Duncan again with a 116. Dunstan came to the fore with a 132, which is nice for Dunstan.
Dunstan's been pretty good the last couple, actually.
And
Clark as well as a defender.
Someone that keeps popping up though is Billings as a forward option.
Yeah.
So I'm not sold on Billings, and I never will be because he just goes like this and this and this and this and. What Billings rocks up week to week is not great. Tim Kelly's dropped off the map a bit, but he looked like he was going to be the number one forward at the start of the year. Do you reckon he's polled enough votes to win the Brownlow at this point? So if the Brownlow medal was stopped now, is he winning the count?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I don't know. Like, yes, he has the most like coaches and whatever have you, but you look at Dangerfield's had some good games. Ablett's had some good moments. Like Hawkins earlier on.
Duncan's
as well.
Duncan's
played really well. So yeah, splitting those points is really hard.
I agree.
Whereas Cripps, the games he's been dominant, he'd be getting a lot of votes. He missed a few games, yes, whatever, like a couple games. But I think it's really going to depend on these last 6 rounds because he's slowing up. Dunkley might even be sneaking through some last minute votes for the last 8 weeks.
I agree, but again, he probably suffers the same issue.
Yeah, started too late.
Bontempelli, McRae's been brilliant.
Yeah.
Obviously with
there's been games
Dunkley.
that, even like Norton went on that tear and took like 15 contested possessions.
Exactly right. So
yeah, no, I'm with you there. It's hard.
Tough in those clubs. The Richmond GWS game ended up being a blowout in the end, so not much to report there. Shai Bolton though, impressive with a 112. A bit of a load getting spread again. Dusty Martin with a 62 for those that have managed to hold him this long. I don't know why you would, but
how upset would you be that Stack's like averaging more on this one?
Oh.
You'd be just livid. Also, Chris, just quietly, Geelong would be the favourites for one of their players to win because they have won the most games. Like the amount of times that the points would probably swing their way, particularly at the first, like up until the bye. But yeah, 6 weeks left. Plenty can happen. Giants have really fallen over, haven't they? Coniglio out 0.
Well, I mean, I did a ladder predictor this week, and I still have them in the 8. I've got them coming in at 6th. But there's every chance if they get another couple of injuries, they could drop out of the 8.
Yeah,
it's
or
that serious.
If they just lose their synergy and their connection, they could be cooked.
I've got Port Adelaide just sneaking in the last spot, and North missing out, and Bulldogs missing out, but only both on percentage.
Yeah, Bulldogs will be. They're having a late run.
Tight. Yeah, I agree. Look, Bulldogs have a good team, and on their day, they're competitive with the top teams.
Yep, and with Richmond getting more players back, funnily enough, Tom Lynch is actually starting to pull together a couple of good scores.
Oh,
Tom Lynch when he was 280k, like bargain, absolute bargain.
He crushes packs. He's exactly what they needed. I'm glad that he went there because I think that that is really what the Tigers were missing. This year they haven't had the luck with injuries they have for the past 3 years. They had the same injury profile that they had last year or the year before, Richmond would be as dominant as they were last year. Guaranteed.
Fair call. Yeah, Dunkley is the story of this one. Dunkley.
Absolutely. I mean, I this is a legitimate thing that happened. I wasn't watching the game after the Coniglio injury. I literally turned off the game and started playing Fortnite. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go play some games, get my mind off it. I was so angry.
I think even Ben Ashton was like at the supermarket and is like, "Yeah, I'm done with Supercoach, honey," and she's like gave him a smile, like, "Good."
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, everybody's doing it. Anyway, so I just was, I'll just check the scores, and I'm like, Dunkley 110. That's awesome, man. Well, why is everyone else such a low score at full time? I legit thought that was his full time score, and everyone else was really, really shit. And then I looked and I was like, oh, it's half time. I didn't even realize it was only halfway through the game. So then I just my heart immediately sank. I was like,
and you're sitting there like, please do a Bontempelli.
At this
and
stage,
end up with 130.
I hadn't checked the Melbourne scores, so I was like, please make him play. Like maybe he's playing head to head with Oliver, and Oliver's equally as good. Oliver's on 37 at halftime or something stupid. It was bad.
Not good.
Lockie Hunter with a 156. So that person who
I know.
contacted us last week.
Thought of the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I know. Whoever's like, oh, Lockie Hunter. We're like, yeah, nah.
And of course, last game of the round was a nice little win for you guys. An absolute smashing, if you like to call it that.
Robbie Gray was on nothing earlier on.
Yeah.
I think he had, in the first half, even 4 disposals or something. His second half, though, when they tried to start fighting back, Robbie Gray was really, really impressive.
Yeah.
His score shot up heaps. So did Westhoff, was doing quite well and then dropped off late, though, so only 71. Like I said, only 86, but still 86, I'll take that. He was... I think it was in the 30. He was only 56.
Yeah, so at halftime he was no good.
But
no good.
Again, he was rucking against 2 opponents with a sore knee.
Yep.
I was just happy he played, to be honest.
Do you wanna hear Zorko's scores since round 7? 128, 114, 121, 117, 85, 88, 117, 155, 95, 122. Absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
I want to work out his average since round 7. I reckon it's probably 115. He did this exact same thing last year.
I reckon Elliot Yo's doing more.
So I'm looking at. I will definitely be looking at Dane Zorko seriously. I will be looking at Yo as well. Merritt and for the cheaper options, Merritt and Duncan. Both of them are at the point where I can have them or I can not have them. If you've got the cash to go up, I would prefer to go up, and that's as simple as that. If you don't have the cash or you want to make that a little extra bank, I don't mind it. I still like JPK as the best option out of all of them. I think JPK is probably the most consistent profile over the next 6 weeks, in my opinion.
Over Dunkley and Merritt?
Oh, easily. Yep.
I disagree.
Look at his scoring patterns.
Yeah, I disagree. I go Merritt.
He's averaged 114 over the last...
Yeah, no, I know that.
I'll go 10 games or whatever.
Merritt, Duncan, JPK. Go figure.
You hurt me.
I'll take Yo, though, over Zorko any day.
To be fair, this year's your year, so maybe you're right.
Yeah. Just like the Dangerfield VC. No, Elliot Yo, I think he's at a point where he's dropped a little bit in price. I think he is now really tempting. I would be going Elliot Yo. Their draw looks quite good. And you know how much I hate on the Yo normally. And the fact that I'm actually saying Elliot Yo over Zorko is said without bias. It has to be. Otherwise, I'd be saying Zorko.
Okay. No, I'm cool with that.
Zorko, take my fucking coffee, and maybe I'll put you on my side.
Is it maybe because the coffee's a shit show?
I'm not bitter at all.
Or you don't want to bet on him just in case something happens. That could be it.
No, that's not it. I just, Zorko's been great, but he's, he could very easily have the attention turned to him.
Yeah, fair enough.
So could Yo, I guess, but I'm not just think Elliot Yo, more consistent.
I like it. All right, well, we might just go through some Twitter chat. We've had a couple of guys in here tonight, so thank you very much for everyone who's attended.
It is a bit earlier, so thank you kindly.
So Tom Williamson 11, he got 2509 with the donut on field this week, which is awesome. So he's stoked for that, and he said thanks for the help this year.
Captain Dunkley, was it?
Mate.
Captain Dunkley?
Probably not. I mean, a lot of people have really big scores. I think the winner this week had 2730 or something stupid.
Yeah.
Hamstring awareness is back with a howdy fellas. And Stone just said,
Hamstring.
hey guys, Buddy sideways trade Cameron, Green, DeGoey or other. Depending on the trade situation, Green is your man. Let's do it.
Buddy? Does he still have Buddy?
Yeah, he's got him at F7.
Right.
So he's got a bit of cash sitting on his bench.
Yeah, I'd get rid of Buddy.
And he also said, you boys just need to get over not having Marshall face up to your mistakes.
Come on, it's funny though. You got to ride that train till it dies, right?
No, look. We both know that.
I wish I had. I wish I had Marshall.
I wish I had him.
Yeah, he's too expensive now. So
now all we can do is pray. And
we got to do. Stones, you of all people should know. You're trying to put the hex on Marshall. Can you, instead of putting bloody pins in Fife's hamstring or whatever you did, or trying to put pins in his nutsack? Can you please do one up for Marshall for us, please? And we'll shout it out and we'll tag in Ben Ashton.
Sounds good to me.
Marshall out, longer in. Hashtag Marshall forward. Or hamstring awareness. You can tag in on this one. Okay, also got a question here. Brad Constable. Hi, Brad. Would you do a
Hi,
trade?
Brad.
Hi, Brad. Anyway, would you do a trade like Jay Kelly down to Merritt? Not sure if he'll play, as the Giants medical staff is a worry. Well, yeah, if you're playing league, I'd still hold at least for another week because
I agree.
Yes, you're better off waiting because he could be back next week.
He could be back next week. He could also be back in another 2 weeks, or
Correct.
3 weeks. So
if you knew this now with Coniglio going out, would you hold Kelly?
No,
going into last week now.
No.
Oh, you probably couldn't. Would you?
I wouldn't. No.
I know it's a hard thing. We did so well for most of the
Again,
year. Now, why is it?
You're not playing for league. If you're playing for league, then yes. But
why is it all happening now? We made it through how much of the year? Hell, we even got like 16 weeks of Darcy Moore missing a couple.
I've had this year for me, and injury wise, I've been hit pretty much everything.
Well, and you also missed all the primos.
Caleb Daniel's the only one I didn't hit. I
also missed all the primos.
Yeah, I've had a tough year.
Apparently, Caleb Daniel is a chance to play this week too.
Yeah, great.
So good for those.
I really look forward to having him and head up leagues again. It'll be great.
You have him?
No, other people.
Right, against. Yeah,
I've got him in a draft comp. I picked him up as a last pick.
Fair call. Yeah, no, I'll hold Kelly another week. Otherwise, you should have traded last week, realistically. And now you're halfway in, so he could play next week. I'd just kind of wait at least until they have a bit more information. And
I agree.
Everyone asking about Coniglio and asking about him, I reckon news will come out at least next week.
Yep.
So, yeah, hold that one for one more week.
That pretty much wraps us up today. We didn't have any, we didn't really do a preemptive post on Facebook or Twitter this week and get questions for us because...
No, but it's at the business end too where people are pretty much, you either have this person and need to trade or you're kind of sitting pretty laughing at everyone running around after it. So,
pretty much.
Which is, we're the ones running around looking for our marbles.
We are. I feel like, what's that movie where he looks for his marbles? Is that Peter Pan? Is that a thing?
Hook? I have no idea.
I
Chris, I will tell you though, I had a look through all the leagues, which is another thing actually. I know this is something we probably should have done earlier, but our leagues have done quite well. I am first in 8 of the 10 leagues, and I'm second in the other 2. So,
where are you in draft, bro? Can I just?
I don't even know. Even actually, I don't even know. I was
not even checking draft anymore.
In our SuperCoach Insider draft, I'm pretty sure I'm probably down near the end as well. To be honest, so look.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't paid that much attention. Yeah, I know too many people. Okay, so the SuperCoach Insider draft. Who is leading that one? Oh, the best 22. So is that Matt again? Anyway, I'm 8th, and I'm one below you, mate, with a better percentage. So
nice.
there you go. Okay, so into the standard, the classic leagues.
You're gonna check on our league
No, I had a look. We've had so many people we've had so many of our leagues doing well. So our Twitch league is 140th, which I think is awesome. 001's 298. 002 is 155. So there's a couple of high ones already. Our Div 1's now 95th. Pardon me.
They come in threes, bro.
You're passing it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so then another couple around that 400 sort of mark by the looks of it. Hang on. Last one. And 102 is our 006 league.
That's all right.
Which, yeah, so at 95, they're only 7 places behind our Div 1 006. So, I think that's really good there. And when we look into our groups, I wonder if I've slid. Oh, I have slid, Chris. Matty, the best 22. So our mate Matt is still first by a long shot. 250 points. Now 4th, mind you. So congratulations to Eddie's Little Indians, whoever you are. Eddie's Little Indians, Matt. Congratulations. And Pizza Safety is David. So they have both overtaken me in the group. I'm now 4th.
Nice.
So.
I'm a part of a league that's ranked 12th, but I'm the last. I'm dead last.
Jeez, imagine if I was in that one instead of you.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the.
They'd probably be first.
That's the Dr. Supercoach Slack Rivalry League. And yeah, I'm dragging the chain there, boys. So I do apologise.
Jeez.
Oh, unlucky.
It's like the cousin that you're inviting that sits there. Yeah, man. Everything you got there, yeah, man.
It's all good.
Anyway, that pretty much wraps us
It
up.
does.
Thinking I might send out a bit of a tweet or something on the Thursday or a Facebook thing about the team reveal. So I am very interested as to how it goes. I expect Bontempelli now to be named until that Friday night.
I don't reckon he gets named.
I reckon he gets... Well, they're talking about they're not going to know until Friday whether he can run at training. So okay. I reckon he'll get named Thursday. If anything, he'll get dropped Friday for the team announcement. He'll maybe extend a bench and then dropped. Who knows?
True
but at this point in time, I'm not that confident with it. So
fair enough. Neither am I. I think he will be an out this week. So
I might have to take.
We'll see how we go.
Clark for a week.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Catch you next
Enjoy
time.
your night. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.